Okay, I suppose that title is a bit presumptuous of me, probably a bit of projection on my part, because whenever I try to recall NBA Finals matchups from the late 90s and 2000s, I often overlook this Eastern Conference team. I mean, follow along with me trying to remember the East finalists. You had MJ and the Bulls a billion times, that must have gotten old. You had Pat Ewing in the Knicks, then Shaq in the Magic while MJ was serving a suspension for gambling, playing baseball. Right. Yes. Everyone remembers the 99 Knicks because they haven't been relevant since. Reggie Miller lost to the Lakers. Allen Iverson put the entire state of Pennsylvania on his back. There was a stretch of the Pistons making the finals, scoring like 14 points a game. Young D Wade, young LeBron, and just like that, we're into the Big Three Celtics era. Cool. But of course, I skipped 2 whole years, and that's always what happens. Because in 02 and 03, there were NBA Finals games played in New Jersey, of all places.
New Jersey, not New York?
I know, right? Ted, I'm always shocked. The New Jersey Nets had the privilege of being the final team beaten down in the finals by the Shaq Kobe Lakers in 02. They followed that up with another improbable run, only to get handled by the Spurs in Tim Duncan's near-perfect 2003 season. But how did a genuinely forgettable Nets team do that? Twice! Like nearly every finals team in NBA history, the blueprint began with a true blue-chip star to build around. Jason Kidd was drafted 2nd overall in 1994 by the Dallas Mavericks. He'd share Rookie of the Year honors with Grant Hill, and in just his 2nd season, he'd be an all-star. However, in 1996, during his 3rd season, Kidd would get traded to Phoenix as a result of reported friction between him and Jim Jackson. Despite a glut of point guards on the Suns roster, Kevin Johnson, Sam Cassell, Steve Nash, Kidd would establish himself as a star in the desert. 3 first-team All-NBA nods, 3 All-Star selections, and 3 assist titles in 4 full Suns seasons. That's not too shabby. Kidd was once again traded during the summer of 2001, this time to the Nets in exchange for a package highlighted by Stephon Marbury. Upon completing the trade, then Nets president Rod Thorne would say, quote, "We feel that we have brought to New Jersey the best all-around point guard in the NBA." And that was honestly facts. During an era that still valued facilitating first and foremost from the point guard position, Jason Kidd was the best in the business. And in addition to the chokehold he had on the first-team All-NBA spot, Kidd had also established himself as the successor to Gary Payton as the premier defender at the point guard position. Now, while Kidd was proven trustworthy, elite, the Nets team he was joining at this point, well, they were fresh off a 26-56 season under new head coach Byron Scott. This was the 3rd straight season of bottoming out for the franchise, who had made the playoffs just once in 7 seasons by the time Kidd arrived. As a result of all that losing, though, the Nets had stacked some young talent through the draft. Kerry Kittles in 1996, Kenyon Martin 1st overall in 2000, and Richard Jefferson through a draft day trade with Houston in 01. Inserting the pass-first Kidd in place of the shoot-first Marbury paid dividends immediately, as the Nets saw a 26-game improvement year over year and finished 52-30 in 01-02. Kidd was runner-up to Tim Duncan for MVP. Kenyon Martin blossomed and averaged 15 points a game. Jefferson was all-rookie, and even Keith Van Horn, the veteran, flourished. Now, I should also mention at this point, the East was so bad at this stage. Kidd and the Nets won 52 games, as mentioned, which was somehow good for 1st in the Eastern Conference. What? But to their credit, they backed up that 1st seed finish in the playoffs, beating Reggie Miller and the Pacers in round 1, Baron Davis and the Hornets in round 2, then the Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker Celtics in round 3. Okay, now that I say it out loud, that was kind of a cakewalk. Ironically enough, though, the same thing happened the following season, like to a T. Jason Kidd would have a career year. The Nets would win 49 games, good for the 2 seed in the East. They'd beat a Ray Allen-less Bucks team, the Pierce Walker Celtics, and a pre-Rasheed Wallace Pistons team. Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, and Kenyon Martin comprised 60% of the Nets starting lineup in both years of title contention, with Richard Jefferson and Jason Collins replacing Todd McCullough and Keith Van Horn in 03. And in both finals appearances, the Nets were boat raced by legendary teams in the throes of their respective dynasties. What's my point in all this? Why did I make this video? I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that Nets team was super underrated. Nah, nothing like that. I just feel as though they're a team that gets lost to history. A footnote on both the Lakers and Spurs title runs. In reality, that era Nets team was guided by a legitimate superstar in Jason Kidd. The man averaged 27 and 9 in the finals with New Jersey, miss me with any arguments, and were able to take advantage of a down period in the East, nearly resulting in a Cinderella story ring. People need to keep at least some respect on their name. It's me. I'm people.